important to you are alone to walk the pathless path. That brings the freedom and happiness. What is this? My master used to say, the day seeker is awakened in meditation. The master celebrates with the joy and declares, hey seeker, you are reborn again. Why he says he is reborn again? Because now he has a totally, entirely a new life. The transformation has come from within. Now he perceives the world as a play and fun, and he uses the mind as an instrument. Previously, he was a slave to the mind. So, what we say in Eastern wisdom, we say that the seeker realizes that self within him and he perceives the same self in everyone. And the mind, the old mind that used to cause anxiety, duality, conflict, is already gone. That meditator experiences oneness. Only one consciousness remains. You see that it's very easy to intellectually understand if you see the ocean from the standpoint of a wave. You have small wave, you have bigger wave, you have very large wave, you have very large, and ultimately it is a storm. From the standpoint of wave, every wave is different. I am one wave, you are different wave. But from the standpoint of the water, if the water sees all the waves, how the water responds? Come on, we all are one. Wave is nothing but the water. So, what happens in meditation? What is that awakening? That your perception changes, your stand point of the life changes. That is why my master says, when you are awakened, the master celebrates and you walk the path alone. Now, it is very important to understand what is this word alone means. Being alone in a world outside, in a society, in your personal, professional, and social life means loneliness. And if you are suffering from that loneliness, you suffer from anxiety, duality, conflict, maybe depression. But here, the word alone means all plus one. All outside plus one. Alone. At the same time, the master leaves the seeker alone to tread the path alone. That is the beauty of this journey. So, alone in our journey of mindfulness means all one. Inside, you don't see any difference. I, you, he, she, son, father, mother, spouse, honey. Inside. From the standpoint of water, from the standpoint of consciousness, you are one. We are essentially one. Why? How come? Can you divide the consciousness? No. Can you divide the space? No. Consciousness is like a space. You discover that pure consciousness. See that? How the master explains. Meditation brings one face to face with the reality. I may say your body, my body. From outside, it looks different. But what is the essential ingredients of this body? Protein, carbohydrate, fat, minerals. What are they all? They are elements. What is element made up of? They are matter. Matter is made up of atoms. Atom is made up of electron, proton, neutron, and they are nothing but energy in the space. How can I say that you are different from me? We see difference from outside. I see the sky is blue, but I have a knowledge sky is not blue. I see the water in the mirage, but I know that knowing is inner perception. That knowing is the third eye. So meditation leads you to the third eye. It is so simple. But if the mind is guided and dictated by our wrong perception, no, no, I am different than you. How come? From the point of view of wave, not from the point of view of what lies within, what I'm made of. See another. How come this is matter? No, no, the body is a living entity. Okay, it's a living entity. I see my right hand. Does the right hand say, I also see you? Come on. So I is not there. I is somewhere inside. And I cannot recognize this I without having a consciousness. And that consciousness we need to discover, that is present in everyone. We have to change the perception in the life. And once that happens, what we say? Awakening. What we say? Kaivalya, alone. Patanjali, the great master, says you reach to a state of Kaivalya. Kaivalya means alone, only one. Alone means all one. Now I see the entire world as one, coming from the one consciousness. So if we given the name as Sat Chit Anand, means absolute existence, consciousness, bliss, we did it right. The Eastern wisdom it did it right. Consciousness cannot be divided. The space cannot be divided. Because I am not the body, why I am not the body? Body is inert. Body is made up of matter. So what happens in meditation? When you go deeper, move the mind within, live within, then what happens? This mind reflects and knows the truth. That at the standpoint of the consciousness, I am the same as anyone in the world. From the standpoint of the body, I am different, gender wise, relationship wise. But I'm not the body. I'm not the wave. But I work as a wave. Now see that what happens. What the wave is made up of? Consciousness. What the body, when we feel the body is alive because of consciousness. So consciousness is present in every cell of the body. So once we awaken to that, transformation takes place, instant transformation. You drop your identification from the body, from the mind, from the breath. You live, work, speak from the standpoint of view of consciousness, from the point of view of water. If we use that simply. So the same issue. But once I have understood it intellectually, why don't I have that same experience? Ask yourself. It is because the mind, with its wrong notion, prevents that awakening and realization. So, as long as we have a wrong notion, we cannot realize and we cannot step into the higher meditative state. No. What is that wrong notion? One wave says, I am wave. Where is the water? Show me. That is a wrong notion. Come on, wave. I know. If the water is, let me take the water out. Wave will exist? No. Let me take the consciousness out. Body will exist? No. So, don't create wrong notion. Don't live with the wrong notion. Don't impose the wrong notion in your life because that will cause suffering. So, what the master says again? Master says, I don't know. First, be humble. After contemplation, don't believe because teacher is teaching you. Remember this. Don't believe that teacher has thousands of followers. Don't believe because the religious text says. What should I do? First, let me know the principle. I don't know. Which mind says, I don't know? Who, the mind that has analyzed, understood. Huh? One example, that our bodies are the same. Essential nature of this body is nothing but matter. Non-essential nature. What is non-essential nature? My name, form, shape. What is non-essential nature? Your name, form, shape. You are an, I am Girish, third is Priscilla, fourth is David, fifth is so and so. They are non-essential nature. No, no, I did not understand this. Take an example of his sweetness of his sugar. That is essential intrinsic nature of a sugar. Sugar can never be salty. And what is non-essential nature? Candy, cookies, ice cream, dessert. Can you say desert? You remove the essential nature? There is no sweetness. It cannot be desert. Remove the sweetness from the ice cream. Can you say it is ice cream? Remove the sweetness from a cookies. Remove the sweetness from a candy. Can it be a candy? Look at it. See the beauty of the way the master guides us. The way the Eastern wisdom guides us. See that first you understand when you believe the science that this entire material world is made up of matter, matter goes to molecule, molecule goes to the atom is made up of electron, proton, neutron. They act as a particle and also as a wave. Hence, there is an electromagnetic field. As such, there is nothing solid, liquid, and gas. There is only energy in the space. Do I believe in science? Yes. I'm saying to you the same thing. By understanding, through questioning, through reasoning, through understanding, I come to the conclusion that because the body is matter and I am not inert, matter is inert, hence, matter is not me, means body is not me. I have to think, I have to contemplate. If I don't contemplate, then nothing happens. My master says that as a father, you are in debt and your son is earning enough. So the son can take the burden of your debt. If you carry 50 pounds on your shoulder, I can ease your burden by sharing that weight. But the journey of the mindfulness cannot be shared. You have to undertake your journey the way the masters have been explaining. I cannot ease the burden of anyone's anxiety or depression. Only I can point out this is the way, this is how you can move into peace and happiness. See that? Look at it. So that is why the Patanjali says in the first sutra of the first chapter, I am teaching and guiding the discipline and education of yoga to a seeker. Silently he says, are you a seeker? Come on. Seeker wants to know, wants to understand, wants to experience commitment, sincerity. Then in the second sutra, he explains Yoga Chittavritti Nirodha. Yoga is emptiness of the mind. Why emptiness? Because mind is filled with the duality, division, confusion. It always perceives the world from the standpoint of wave. But that is false notion. So that is why we need to empty the mind. Why we need to empty the mind? That is one reason. Second, when the emptiness is reached, the true nature reflects in the mind. An awakening, peace, happiness takes place. That is what Patanjali says in the third sutra, Tadadrashtu Swarupe Avasthanam. What happens when you reach to that state of nothingness and emptiness? So Patanjali, the master, says what happens? The real self, your essential nature, that sweetness, that intrinsic nature of yours is revealed. It is a new birth. Why it is a new birth? Now you see from where the peace and happiness is coming. I have been running after peace and happiness in the world with objects and people and things and relationships. Now it's very easy to understand from the point of view of the sugar. Sweetness, intrinsic nature. You crush that white sugar cubes into a powder, the sweetness remains. You put it into a desert, the sweetness is manifest. You put it into the ice cream. We eat ice cream because of the sweetness. Secondary factor is color, shape, size. We eat the desert because of the sweetness. Have you heard this desert with the salt? No, we have never heard about it. Did you hear about the candy without sugar? No, it cannot become candy. I cannot become Girish because of without that consciousness. You cannot become man without that consciousness. That is my intrinsic nature. That is my essential nature. That is what the Patanjali is saying. Don't believe because the teacher is saying, but listen to the teacher and contemplate and reflect. When you contemplate and reflect, the false notions in your mind will be gone. What will happen when that is gone? When that false nature is gone, the intellect is pure, full of conviction, freedom from the doubt. what that intellect does. I'll give you an example. If I ask you, where is your house, you instantly tell me. How many kids you have, you will tell me instantly. Why? The intellect is pure, clear, doubt free. So, when we learn these principles, contemplate and reflect, the intellect and the mind becomes doubt free, full of conviction. Clarity is there. Do you ever think you're 1,000 miles away from your home? Do you ever think, oh no, I have to think where my house is, so let me think first and then I will. Come on, you know it. So your action is spontaneous, natural. It is because we have to listen to the teacher and these principles to make the mind and intellect pure and clear. It is because we have to learn the principles of the Eastern wisdom. And then what happens? I give an example. Where is your house? No, stop. Let me think. In which country? In which county? In which. No, you know it. Doubt free. Intellect. So when I have a clear intellect, which says, come on, intellect inspires you to go for the practice. And then you practice, your experience changes. In the mind, experiences changes the brain. The scientists are talking about neuroplasticity, epigenetics, neurogenesis. Those changes comes into the brain. The brain changes my attitude and response to the world outside because my perception has changed. And attitude changes my personality because my perception has changed. I start living a life beyond stress and suffering. That is why Master says when you are awakened, you walk the path alone. Alone does not mean loneliness. Alone means all are one. Let us start our journey and practice the mindfulness now.